known mainstream. And one would be the conversation we're about to have this afternoon, immunology or immunity versus vaccination. Now, we have had a part one, and I'm so glad we're having this part two before the year ends, and no better person to have the conversation with than yourself. So once again, I'm so glad that you're here, and I think it's a good way to end the year so that hopefully we'll make better decisions in the year 2025. Let's begin, sir. Immunization and vaccination, the separation.
Immunization is a natural process, a beautiful, awesome, powerful, God-given natural process through which the human body prepares itself, educates itself, defends itself, and matures right from the womb till the tomb. So much in between. From the time the child is in the mother's womb, the mother bathes that child in all of her immunity, her immune cells. The child comes through the canal, is exposed to a ton of microbes in that space. Again, immune exposure. The child, if nature takes its path, gets breast milk from the mother, gets a ton of immune cells also, and of course nutrients, elevating its immunity. Eventually the child is exposed to the environment around. Other children sneeze, they cry, they shout, they spit, you name it. They exchange microbes. The child's system assesses, is this friend or foe? And if it's foe, some may cause the child to have a bit of a cold symptom, fever, headache, malaise. They get over it, they are now immune to it. Some, the child will not even know they picked up anything. And they become immune to it. And that's the beauty of how nature works. Natural immunity, or natural process of immunization. Dad goes to work, mom comes back from work, or from the grocery store, or from a concert, the sibling concert. Child comes back from nursery, and they exchange and elevate. So it's a non-stop educational process where the immune system is assessing what is coming in. Is it friend? Is it foe? If it's friend, we actually incorporate it into its own microbiome.
Okay.
And if it's foe, it creates antibodies as well as memory cells, what we call the heavy defense, the T cells, for future exposure.
Okay, now that's immunization.
Yes.
I want you to go into vaccination, and then I want to ask you a question that I think a number of people think that they know, but they're not sure that they know. So first, vaccination, then I'll ask the question.
Vaccination is a man-made process of artificially introducing the quote-unquote causative agent into the human body to trigger a similar response as nature does. And so you get a live virus, for instance, i.e. the OPV, the oral poliovirus, and the hope is that it will go into the body and trigger an immune response that will hopefully defend the child against both that exposure and future exposures.
Okay.
That's vaccination. You'll have the needle that's given to us in the shoulder often. Again, the idea here is to trigger the bust cells to go through the immune process and produce
Trigger the cells to go through the immune process.
To synthesize antibodies and hopefully a memory component so that in future exposures, one is, quote unquote, prepared to defend against the element.
If the body already is triggered every time it meets a stranger, then vaccination as a form of triggering agent appears to force the body into a kind of forced response. And that's me just from an observer's point of view. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, and that's part of the concern with vaccination. It actually distorts the immune response. It triggers almost like a monolithic or a blinder effect. Natural immunity is a robust, very wide open response, whereas vaccination tends to constrict just one microbe and trigger the immune system to focus on this one microbe, which over time could distort the immune system's response to others.
Yeah.
And as we may talk even later, we've seen that with COVID and people coming down with other health issues as a result of the COVID vaccination.
Okay. All right. Now, the question I wanted to ask, which in my opinion I think people know but do not know that they know, is this. Can the body heal itself? The reason I'm asking this question is every time a person falls ill, feels inflammation, pain, the first reflex response is medicine. I need medicine to cure my body. I don't even know that we even make room for the possibility of our own bodies figuring out its own issues and healing itself. Of course, not in every given scenario, but I don't even think that there is a knowledge or an awareness of the body or our bodies to heal itself, that capability. So I wanted to speak on that, then we'll further the conversation.
This absent knowledge is really in the last 1 to maybe 150 years.
Oh.
And prior to that, many indigenous cultures around the world, and many still to today, that haven't been overly influenced by the Western medical methods, know this. And so a child is ill, you prepare some herbs, you rest, you don't go to the farm, and you recuperate. In the herbs, you have a lot of phytonutrients that complement the body's own attempt to heal the body. The body heals itself. Very simple example is you have a small cut, it will heal. Whether you apply any anti-cream or not, it will heal. You have a headache now. That's inflammation in the brain. If headache goes away tomorrow, what happened? It healed. The body took care of that inflammation in the brain. You have a joint pain. This evening you get home, you're tired, joints are aching you. You have a good meal, you rest, maybe you get a massage, you go to bed. The morning you wake up, the pain is gone. That's the healing mechanism of the body. You had today, and we have clients who have what we call TIAs, a transient ischemic attack or stroke. And 6 hours later, there's no evidence of the stroke. That's the body's healing mechanism that has kicked in. So it's not a far-fetched idea. It's going on 24/7. And best of all, when you go to sleep at the right time, your healing mechanism goes in overdrive.
What's the right time? So lately I started going to bed at 9. I can't remember prior to the last 1 month, I can't remember going to bed early. Well, because I have to read, right? But I think a month ago I decided that, look, whatever happens, roll on the bed, 9 p.m. And I kind of think I like it. One, I don't have to read. Two, my body does this thing, and I don't know if it's my body or it's my mind that needs a holiday. I wake up the wee hours of the night, and I'm up for like 3 hours. And so, I actually have to wake up and go get something to drink, like a hot beverage. And then I try to find sleep about 5. This morning I was up at like a few minutes to 3. And I went back to sleep about 5:30. I was begging my body to shut down. Then I think I went to sleep about 5:30, and then I got up at 8. So what's the right time, and what's wrong with my body and sleeping pattern?
Okay, you've asked 3 questions.
I like the way you break it
down. the right time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
On which I'll give 2 answers.
Okay.
The second about that, waking up in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
And now,
it's not like I'm thinking about making money or conquering the world.
I will help answer that question.
Please.
By what happened to me 2 mornings ago.
Oh.
About 2:30, I get up, go to the restroom, come back to bed. Normally, I can go back to bed quietly.
Yeah.
But if I don't, or my spirit gets restless, I know there's something the higher levels are trying to communicate or download to me.
Okay.
And if I just pause, my goodness, Joy.
You're not going back to sleep.
Creativity just pours out. I must get my pen and paper or start to note things down, because ideas download. Things I forgot to get done the day before just begin to with clarity, with answers, with pathways. I must write down or jot down.
Genius.
Now, 2 days ago, this happened. I was restless. Normally at that hour, I would rarely pick up my phone unless I thought I had to send out messages ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
After about 15 minutes, sleep didn't come. I got up, picked up my phone. I saw a message from someone.
Okay.
About a case that I read through it. I saw the CT report. This person definitely has stomach cancer.
Okay.
The message came across less than 5 minutes before I saw it. So I knew that person was still up in another time zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I responded immediately and began conversing back and forth and giving some guidance as to what could be done.
Sleep is gone.
About 5 o'clock, the heavy eyes came back. And I said,
good for you. For me, what I notice is that because I'm a thinker, once I open my eyes too 2:30 to, I must shut it down. If I wait 1 minute, it's as though my body just opens up like a flower under the sun. And I tried to shut my mind, because at the moment, and I realized that it's just my mind. So the moment I open my eyes, I have to make sure I don't think of nothing or no one. The moment I just go there mentally, oh, my body is, well, a factory at work. So it's not a bad thing, right?
No, it's not. Just acknowledge that sometimes the brainwave pattern or the frequency is where creativity and clarity of thought can occur with almost spiritual accuracy. And so milk of that time when you wake up in that interval, milk it, maximize it to note things down.
I already have. My life is so Doc. Oh heaven. Okay, you know what? I want to say that you're speaking to the public. So for some people, it would be this. For others, for me, silence does it. Just to be alone, to be silent. To be silent, yeah, the whole creativity, the world is opened up, and my mind has 20 legs, and I'm in 20 places at the same time mentally. But I feel like if I begin a habit of trying to write to 2 a.m., then I'm probably just going to lose sleep altogether. And I'm afraid of losing it, because science says sleep is good. And I like me some good sleep. I mean, I don't get it, but, you know.
Which brings us to the first question as to ideal time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Coming back to the fundamental that we are part of nature.
Okay.
Across the animal kingdom, when do most creatures, daytime creatures, go to sleep? What's the body's natural signal for sleep? What's the body's natural signal that causes our sleep hormone, otherwise called melatonin, to rise in the bloodstream? Darkness. So once the sun sets and the moon or darkness ensues, the body's natural circadian rhythm triggers the release of melatonin.
Okay. I noticed that my body tends to shut down at about between 4 p.m. and 6. My body wants to shut down. And then I try not to sleep so I can catch a good sleep at night. But I've noticed it. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. my body wants like a power nap.
Take it.
Oh.
10, 15 minutes power nap does so much repair, so much resetting. Take it. And
really?
It won't interrupt with your 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
It won't?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I should try that. I really should. I really try to fight it. Actually, I do. I just noticed that every time I sit down, 4 or 5, my body wants to just shut down. And then by 6, my body kicks up. It's so weird, you know? By 6 p.m., it feels like, oh, good morning again. And it's 6 p.m. Until, well, about 10, 11, 12. So you think I'm not weird?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And in many cultures around the world, between 12 and 2 or 12 and 3, many
a
cultures
nap, right?
Yes. It's the norm.
Okay, and 4 p.m. isn't too late? 4 or 5?
Probably because you're in a very adrenaline-driven job till about that time.
Oh, okay.
Such as this.
Yeah, like where my brain is on the verge of burst for 3 hours. Okay, well, I'm glad that I have you to really run that by. So I'm going to sleep in the afternoons these days.
Quick power nap.
And then I'm not going to write at 2 a.m.
If you're awake at 2 a.m. and you're in that state of alpha, meditative, quiet state, meditate, quiet, go back to sleep. But if suddenly you're having creativity offloading.
Okay, then you write it down.
Write it down.
Okay, that's beautiful, really. Because if anyone is listening and that's like, say, their encounter, that's probably a good time to really write down your thoughts, because you're probably never so alone and so quiet any other time during the course of the day. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Darkness, time to sleep. Are we looking at 9 p.m., 8 p.m.?
Depending on the time zone, one is
Nigeria.
Yeah, 9 p.m. is good.
9 p.m. is
really good, yes.
Yeah, you can make up for your wee hours, the ones where you don't catch sleep. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I want to quickly share some information, Lagos, and then we're back to this conversation. Remember, we're trying to figure out, we're on the thought of the body healing itself. And you know, sleep is one way the body repairs itself. The doctor will speak more on that when we return.
Yes, this year it is time for us to make it a Christmas member. I'll tell you at the Fun Factory, it's a world of twinkling lights, festive rides, and holiday magic for all ages. Bring the whole family to meet Santa, enjoy holiday fun, and create unforgettable memories together. It is the perfect way to share the season's magic. If you're planning a friend's holiday hangout, then make this season one for the books with holiday thrills, festive games, and cozy treats around every corner. Join us at the Fun Factory Amusement Park for a Christmas to remember. Don't get left out. Don't miss out on that magic. For more inquiries or you could call or WhatsApp the number 0809 828 8888. That is 0809 828 8888.
All right, 99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. And, Doctor, if you have just tuned in, which I hope you haven't, we're discussing immunization and vaccination. And the doctor has laid a very detailed separation one from the other. But just by way of additional information, and it's a slight segue, the question of the body healing itself. So, sir, I want to find out in your expertise, how does the body heal itself? Because I think that knowledge can inform actions that are taken when the body is inflamed, broken, cut, or injured in any way.
The body literally is a 24/7 surveillance system. Not just
like an intelligent machine.
It is.
Oh.
I mean, we think our senses are limited to the hearing, the
smelling,
touch, and
taste,
vision, and eyes. It's much more than that. The body is literally internally assessing itself. Is the heart pumping properly? Is the quality of my blood? Is it too thick? Is it too thin? Do I need some more water in here? Do I need to trigger my satiety centers to bring some nutrition somewhere? Inflammation, whether it's on the skin, in the blood vessel, means you name it. Your interleukins, they're all there to heal the body. As it heals, part of the mechanism is also clearing the garbage out. If cellular debris builds up, it has a lawnmower system to take out the garbage, to go down to the liver or the kidney, process, and out.
Okay, does it do so, or does it accomplish that fit through help? Say what we eat, when we drink, and usually, like, what are the signs? Because usually when someone has like an inflammation, they just think they're sick. They don't necessarily call it a symptom of something. You know, they say, "Oh, I'm ill." When you have a fever, you don't say, "Oh," they don't call it a symptom. At least I don't think that's what, I don't hear people call it a symptom. They say, "Oh, I'm ill." And that's also because, I mean, general language, that's one simplified way to get a doctor's attention. But I want to ask about some of the symptoms that appear. Symptoms that's saying or suggesting that something else. Or if it's a fever, is it just good old fever? Or is it a symptom of something else happening? Now, I have 30 seconds on the clock. Actually, I'm going to ask you to hold your thought, collect it. Lagos, we're off on a break. When we come back, if we can simplify this, then the next time you fall ill, it may inform the choice or lack thereof as far as your health goes. Immunization and vaccination is a conversation in Nigeria Info. We're off on a break. We'll be right back.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Grab your sunglasses, beachwear, sunscreen, and head over to Ziba Beach Resort, where there is a spot with your name on it just for you and your loved ones. To book your holiday spot, visit zibabeachresort.com or call 0704-730-0013. Ziba Beach Resort, Lagos. A beachside Christmas awaits you.
We
are active. Kids Sports Charity Cup Season 14. This year, we are going to be hosting 6 orphanages, 6 grassroots football academies, and 4 female teams to a day of feisty sporty fun. Is Citadel of Grace going to win it back-to-back, or will SOS come back to claim the title as the longest participating home? Varsity FC, Ikorodu FC, and Dazzle FC are ready to claim the title from Right to Smile FA, who have won that category back-to-back for 2 straight seasons. This year, the teams will be competing in football and esports. It sure is going to be a festival of sports. You don't want to miss the shots, the saves, the dribbles, and the thrills from all the games. Happening on Wednesday, December 18th, 2024 at Campos Mini Stadium, Joseph Harding Street, Lagos Island. Kickoff for all games starts at 9:30 a.m. prompt. Kids Sports Charity Cup is powered by Kingmakers, supported by Providence Bank, Olam Nigeria, DocuLand, Game Evo, Indomie, Power Oil, TAS Africa, Momo, Oriolas, American Quarters, Wando's Signatures, Ladies in Sports International, Raliat and Nico Abdul Salam Foundation, Prince Zila, Media Partners, Kids FM, Cool FM, Nigeria Info, Super Sports, Lambox Media. Endorsed by Lagos State Sports Commission and Lagos State Football Association.
This is it. The ultimate stage for young minds to battle it out.
The governors are above the law. They tend not to lean on to public participation.
Governors can make any decision without fear of
what remains of a person's identity if it's only measured by external.
The urgency to safeguard life should outweigh preserving cultural sites.
Auditions for the I Beg to Differ Secondary Schools Debate Tournament is on. Do you have the passion, the intellect, the fire that stand above the rest? Then prove it.
The hallmark of any thriving society is in its youth.
Study organization should be planned carefully into the data.
Standardized tests is a recipe for anxiety.
Prove you're the next great debater Nigeria has been waiting for. I Beg to Differ. Auditions open December 12, 2024 and close January 12, 2025. The clock is ticking. Visit www.nigeriainfo.fm now to register. I Beg to Differ. The Tournament of Champions.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
Lagos, it is time to turn up. Yes, it is dirty December, so it's almost like every time I'm up here, there's always a time to turn up. Now, this time around, this message is brought to you by Drinks Fest. Yes, Drinks Fest Lagos is here to set your New Year vibes on fire. We're kicking you off in the new year with the blast. I'm not saying a blast. This is going to be the blast. 2 incredible days, January the 3rd and the 4th, 2025 at the Landmark Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. The Drinks Showcase is happening live. A celebration of exquisite drinks, Lagos culture, beautiful people, and good vibes, all waiting for you. Yes, the one you. It is all waiting for you on the other side of the other side of the New Year celebrations. Get ready for a Drinks Showcase like no other. Live entertainment, music, and festive vibes. Plus, meet the masters behind your favorite drinks. Don't miss Lagos's hottest event to kick off 2025. Grab your crew and get your tickets at Tix Africa. Drinks Fest Lagos is organized by Drinks Fest and Without a Box. Go and get your tickets now at Tix Africa. Remember, at tix.africa. Now, follow at Drinks Fest LAG. There's follow at Drinks Fest lag on Instagram and on X, and at Drinks Fest Lagos on TikTok and Facebook for all the exciting updates you could need. Who does not want? I mean, every other show we've been talking about has been in this side of the new year. You have one that is going to actually kick you off into the new year, so you should be excited and be looking to go. So make sure you go to Drinks Fest on the 3rd and the 4th of January 2025. It's going to be a blast.
Stay updated with all the current news. From policies to politics, economies, local and foreign news. We keep you updated on all the happenings. Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
It's 2 o'clock.
headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Federal government clears over 85 billion naira ECOWAS community levy, while federal government secures conviction of over 200 suspects over terrorism. President Tinubu declares end to era of beggars on Nigerian streets and roads, assures every Nigerian child of protection rights and privileges, while Central Bank of Nigeria warns of scarcity just as cash outside banks hit 4.3 trillion naira. Governor Sanwo-Olu performs Medipark groundbreaking, promises enhanced healthcare, and federal government and foreign partners sign letter of intent to improve healthcare. National Health Insurance Authority says 19.2 million citizens enrolled into health insurance scheme, surpassing its 2024 target. Enugu Governor Peter Mba calls for dog vaccination against rabies in Enugu State. Lagos State government sets to inaugurate completed roads in Alimosho. Ikorodu road accident claimed lives of 2 people. And the LEA intercepts 3.3 billion naira worth of meth and loud shipments in auto parts imported from Canada at Tinkan Seaport in Lagos. Nigeria Meteorological Agency predicts 3-day dust haze and cloudiness from Monday. Country Director of Amnesty International Nigeria, Issa Sanusi, urges Nigerians to be part of activism to free the country from bad governance and demand their rights. On the foreign scene, hundreds and possibly thousands of people feared dead after powerful cyclone in Mayotte. Israel plans to expand Golan Heights settlements after fall of Syrian President Assad. Former Human Rights Watch chief Roth accuses Netanyahu of plans to make Gaza unlivable. And legendary Indian tabla player Zakir Hussain dies of lung disease at the age of 73. Nigeria Football Federation backs Ademola Lukman and Chiamaka Nadozie for CAF Player of the Year awards in men's and women's categories. And Man City boss Pep Guardiola says he is not good enough as late defeat to Man United deepens club crisis. Those are the headlines. This is Joyce's Sunnyside on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Yvonne Ohaifo. Stay here, Lagos.
Activate. We are radio active on 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Joyce.
We're back, and we're trying to piece together all the puzzles that should inform you when it comes to understanding vaccination and immunization. So, Doc, you were on I had a number of questions for you before the commercial break. And yes, our guest this afternoon, I'm hoping now you have become quite familiar with him, Dr. Patrick Ejewere. Are you willing now and ready to give us answers to the questions I asked before the break?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me recall all the questions. Regarding symptoms or signals the body gives.
Yes.
Especially when you put it in the context of how we are taught conventionally to understand these signals. Mm-hmm. For instance, the common one being fever. It's actually a signal the body gives for several purposes. One is to recruit other immune cells to the area of inflammation or the area of damage or the area of concern. Mm. It's also to indicate to us something is going on here. Relax. Avoid distraction so that all my cells focus on this arena. What do we do conventionally? We give drugs. We give antipyretics. We give things like paracetamol. If it's a mild to moderate fever, you don't need that because fever is the body's normal sequence of actions to trigger the healing process.
Okay.
It's not a detrimental thing. Now, when it gets very high, to the point where it can cause a seizure, as in like in small children, at that point you can intervene with physical measures first of all. Everything from the tepid sponge to, yes, you can introduce
the herbs.
The herbs, the cold shower, and then if all that doesn't work, at that point you may introduce it to avoid the seizure, which is when the brain gets very hot also. The brain gets inflamed.
Okay.
But for most mild to moderate fevers, you don't need the antipyretics, the fever medications. It's the body signaling that it's doing its work.
Are you familiar with the possibility that Nigerians are rather quick to, go pop a pill every time there's a fever? They even self-diagnose and say, I have malaria.
I have met
typhoid.
with the marketers of some of the drug companies, and it was a deliberate strategy.
Was it?
Their target audience, according to one of the marketers, target audience were the Danfo drivers. These folks live literally day by day. If they don't drive one day, there's no money to feed the following day.
Yeah.
And so Rather than get a headache or have a back pain, I beg, chop 'em, take 'em, make you the drive motor, make money no decrease. So they're taking it even prophylactically.
Ooh.
Yes, they're buying and taking it even before they start driving. Not because there's a symptom. But the marketing is, don't miss your income for a day. Take that pill. No pain, no fever, you're good to go.
Okay. Wow. And then the other question.
All right. Another very popular question, symptom is a symptom of diarrhea, loose bowels. Okay. With the loose bowels, we are quick to run to the pharmacy and get some common drugs we use to try and stop the bowels from
running loose.
But the running loose is a body's signal that something in here doesn't belong, that needs to go out. Whether it's a bacteria or the bacterial toxin, or other things that you have eaten that the body says, no, doesn't belong here. Get rid of it.
I don't think people know that.
12 hours, 24 hours, let the body clear it out. But make sure you are refilling, because when the body clears it out, it takes water and a lot of sodium, potassium, and other minerals with it.
Okay.
So load the body back up with coconut water or regular water, and if possible, even add a bit, small amount of salt to that water to replenish the liquid that you are sending out, along with all the bad boys through the quote-unquote loose bowels. Diarrhea is not a bad thing. It's the body's natural mechanism to clear things that don't belong out. Another common one is cough. Cough. The body is giving us a signal. Something is in my airway that does not belong here. What do? I have a reflex to cough it out. It's a defensive reflex.
Okay.
What do we do conventionally?
Medication.
My goodness.
So when we feel these symptoms, you say we give it 24 hours, 48 hours, observe your body.
Yes.
Eat some natural fruits.
Support as well. Observe and support the body. The hydration, the fruits, the veggies, do that to support the body. But let the body take its course. If after about 24 to 48 hours it's still going on, fine. Seek attention and we may help you out.
Okay, so the body heals itself, but it would even do that even more optimally if we eat things that help.
Bingo. So if the body is loaded with the ton of natural nutrients, you have your greens, your vegetables, your fruits that are in season, without all the toxins that come into it. You're eating food without all the enzyme triggering or blocking products like the seasonings and other chemicals. The body will do it just fine.
Okay.
And do it optimally to heal itself.
Okay, now, we're speaking about adults. So when we look at vaccination and immunization, once you even hear immunization, your mind just goes to children. But we know for vaccination, we know children get vaccinated. Adults get vaccinated. Is the body capable at such a young age to defend itself? Because science and medicine tell us that children born need defenses against, say, nature's ability to invade them and to induce pathogens that their bodies or natural biological systems may not have proper defense against. And as such, one way the world deals with that, medicine would say, well, vaccinate the child. Or you follow a scheme to say immunization, so your child is loaded over a 2-year period with God knows how many needles. So, is the body even capable at such a young age to defend itself? Because this is me still aiming at trying to create an understanding around the body's ability to heal itself. So can you go ahead with the answer to that question?
I'll give you 2 to 3 perspectives.
Okay.
Number 1, if that child has gone through the natural process, womb, birth, the child is loaded with a lot of antibodies.
Virginal birth now.
Virginal birth.
Okay.
Antibodies from the mother through the womb, a lot of antibodies from exposure to the mother's canal, and tons more from the mother's milk. Whatever is in the environment, the mother is inhaling it or she's eating it. It's been processed, and the necessary antibodies or enzyme systems are transferred to the baby through the breast milk or through the pregnancy. I'll give you an example. This is a personal example. When our 4th child was born, she suffered thrush in the mouth. Spoke to one of my herbalist mentors. Can I mention his name?
Yeah, sure.
Reverend Father Adodo, Pax Herbals.
Okay.
Now, and he said to me, Doc, have your wife prepare a smoothie, put about an 1/8 to 1/4 of an onion, blend with other things she enjoys, mango, pawpaw, you name it. Don't give it to the baby. Your wife is to drink it. Of course, my wife is like, onions in a smoothie, it doesn't sound right. I said, don't worry. I will drink it also.
Support.
24 hours later, the entire thrush in the baby's mouth was gone.
Wow.
Mother processed the antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, microbial properties of the onion when she drank the smoothie. And the body sent it out through the breast milk into the child's mouth, and it cleared it faster than any tablet or Western medication could do it.
With no side effects.
With no side effects. In fact, with beautiful side effects. Because the next day, I got up and got into the car to go to work, and I forgot I had not brushed my teeth.
Oh, Doc. Poor you. Yeah. And then you went back.
I went back in out of habit. But truly, the onion phytonutrients that I drank the day before had done its work to cleanse the bad breath and the bad odor. So I did not know in the morning that.
But onion itself kind of leaves you with a stank, you know. It's like.
Try it the night before. The next morning, my gosh, you'll be feeling glorious.
Really?
Recently, I did something else with onions. You know how in old school, if you have a cough or cold, you put onions slices on into your and wear your socks to go to bed.
Yeah.
So I did something similar. Man, I woke up in the morning and the mouth was fresh.
I like the smile on your face. We should try that. So you don't brush in the morning, but the night before, you have onion in the socks. You wear it through the night.
Yes. Or drink an onion smoothie.
Well, I can try it. If I don't like it, I can go wash up and then make it back.
Third part to your question. As the child is now growing up, he's been exposed to different things in the air and is building his immunity.
Yeah.
So when they say the child hasn't got the immune system to defend against whether it's poliovirus or whatever virus,
exactly,
totally
false.
Thank you.
Wow.
The child that child is exposed 24/7 to a wide range of things. 24/7, even when they're sleeping, things from their siblings, from their parents, from their playmates, viruses, bacteria, fungi, you name it, and all the microbes.
Okay.
The child's system is functional.
And can defend against many of these things for which vaccines are given.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to speak about malaria vaccine. It seems to be like the most recent, and it's for children 0 to, I think, 15 months. And first, we have to share some information. Then we'll come right back. We're 99.3. This is Nigeria Info. If you've had any questions regarding the now publicized malaria vaccine, this is your opportunity to leave us a question.
Have you heard of Pulse? But you probably, heard of Pulse marketing too. Now, let me break it down for you. Now, Pulse marketing has been a driving force in 360 marketing, consistently delivering game-changing solutions to elevate your brand through the years. If you're tired of wasting time and money on marketing that goes nowhere, then Pulse marketing is here to put an end to that and drive the results for your brand to deliver, returns. Now, Pulse marketing brings a fresh, bold, and data-driven approach to your marketing with cutting-edge strategies that will grab attention and drive conversions. Pulse has worked with industry leaders. I'm talking about people like Amazon Prime Video, Nike Nigeria, and respected local brands like Muka Foam and Nigerian breweries, yes, NB, to deliver impactful, tailored campaigns that really move the needle. Whether you are looking to launch an epic campaign, grow your brand, or dominate your industry, Pulse Marketing has the tools and expertise to make you that company or take you there. But if Pulse marketing isn't just about great ideas, obviously. They are about delivering real, measurable results. From driving traffic to your website, that's one, to boosting sales. They specialize in creating campaigns that generate the return on investment that you need to take your business to the next level. They don't just help you grow, they help you thrive. It's not just about growing, it's about thriving where you grow. If you're ready to see your brand take off, follow Pulse Marketing on social media and visit www.pulsemarketing.africa. That is Pulse Marketing, one word, .africa. Go there and learn more. For a long time, a true legend has been living among us, and it is time to celebrate him. Join us and other industry leaders and titans as we honor Dr. Abiodun Olushino Shobanjo, a visionary, pathfinder, and pioneer who has redefined the Nigerian advertising ecosystem for the longest time. It is going to be an evening of tributes and crowning of years of excellence. It's going to be happening on December the 17th. I'm talking tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, 24 hours from now. And it will be happening at the Ajip Recital Hall inside the prestigious Muson Center, Unicon, Lagos. The time, 4 p.m. Be a part of history. Do not be told. Reserve your seats today and witness a legacy that continues to inspire. For inquiries and confirmations, please contact Jumoke at 0802-119-9222. That is 0802-119-9222.
Tick, says the clock. What we have to do today is worthy of note.
This is Sunny Side with Joyce, only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. All right, so he says, whenever I chew raw onion, I experience a sufficient amount of sleep. I don't know what it is about onion, eating it raw that makes me sleep soundly. What other natural or organic foods can make the body easily relax and enjoy sound sleep? Doctor, that's to you.
The darker the leaf, get some dark lettuce, some dark romaine lettuce. Enjoy it either raw or blend it into a smoothie and drink in the evening.
Okay, so I know for cocoa, I know milk, I know honey, but I don't drink milk because, of course, I don't want to be fat. But cocoa with milk, yeah. Honey, yeah.
Try cocoa with cinnamon.
Doc, I also heard nutmeg can induce
relaxation,
transcendence.
Ooh, that's another topical.
Okay, good. Then, you've mentioned a few, the green leafy, leafy greens?
Dark green vegetables like green lettuce, green. It's called romaine lettuce or something.
Yeah. Okay, but those are not easily within reach. So those are for people on the island, for people on the mainland. What other alternatives? Scent leaf. There's I don't know. The ugu gives me a bloody headache.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't even touch that one. Well, I can't eat it raw.
They're the teas.
What's that?
Lavender. What's it? Chamomile. It's the popular one.
Okay, chamomile. The teas. A green tea doesn't help you sleep, but no, it doesn't because it has caffeine.
A small amount of caffeine. Yeah. Even cocoa powder has a small amount of caffeine. But folks will tell you.
Yeah, it's miraculous when it comes to... I love what it does to me. Feels like a hug. Okay, Doc. If you have just tuned in, 99.3 Nigeria Info, vaccination, immunization. Now, Doc, you're saying that the body can defend itself. And even though a child is frail and in that vulnerable state, they have, if they're in an environment where you have stated a few, vaginal birth, a healthy mom, breastfed, that the mom's environment is the environment for the child. Okay, you want to put it in your words?
Go ahead.
Okay, is secure enough to give the child's body defense against environmental factors that could make it prone to infection or diseases or any pathogens.
Absolutely. And as the child is maturing, the breastfeeding is literally every day. With every time that child drinks milk, is upgrading the child's immune system. Because the mom's immune system is not stagnant. It's also surveying the environment.
It's refining itself.
24/7, the same thing. And preparing micronutrients for the baby.
Well, this is me now wanting you to put it in plain terms. If the environment is safe and clean, the mom is healthy, then the child doesn't need immunization. Or doesn't need all the...
The child will get its immunization naturally. The child is breastfed, which is the natural order.
Oh, yeah, that's a better way to put it, because...
The child's immune system is upgraded with every single breast milk feeding. Because the mother's immune system is doing the same thing. Whether I give the mother onion or I give her tomatoes, her immune system is doing what?
So the child wouldn't need conventional
Minimally to none.
Minimal to none.
Yes. And the studies that I mentioned last time, Dr. Paul Thomas's study that compared children who are vaccinated artificially and those who are not vaccinated showed resoundingly that children do not need vaccination. Those who didn't get vaccinated were healthier. Less sick, less ear infection, less throat problems, pharyngitis, or what do you call them, tonsillitis, less asthma, less allergies, less bowel problems. Every index that was looked at, the children who were not vaccinated were healthier.
You know, that's really something for people to cling to in this moment. Now, before the break, I said let's look at malaria vaccine, which now the Nigerian government even approves of. This is how the BBC puts it. Nigeria, which has more malaria deaths than any other country in the world, has begun rollout of a vaccine against the disease for the first time, which is malaria vaccine. The West African nation accounts for almost a third of all those who die from malaria each year. The vaccine being introduced is called R21/Matrix M. Is the second to be approved by the World Health Organization and is being given to children between the age 5 and 15 months. So they say this vaccine is in Nigeria because Nigeria is the worst places. One of the worst places, but they even just put it verbatim. This is how the headline reads: Malaria vaccine rolled out in the world's worst affected country. I think our poverty is a symptom of something far deeper. And so every time the news is reported this way, malaria vaccine rolled out in the world's worst affected country, they suppose it's almost as though the news suggests an incapable people, uninformed people, a paralyzed people, and inefficient people. And as such, this vaccine is the surest way to health safety. Now, I'm hoping that your presence today, and when you begin to speak on this, you can maybe upset that thinking or correct a presupposition that suggests that the news could even be wrong the way it's told. And if Nigerians were healthy, you have said this on the show before, if you're in a healthy environment, if you eat the right food, you can prevent this malaria. So maybe I'm not putting it rightly, so I'll allow your expertise put it into context.
All right. Let's come from three perspectives. First, historical. I say this categorically. Malaria is not an African ancestral problem. We have over 100 plants. If you don't believe me, go to number 9 Ekofa Bayemi Road. There's a library there. Research done by universities, documented. 100 plus plants, either prophylactic or therapeutic against malaria. These are not exotic plants that grow only inside the bush somewhere on the hills of Adamawa State. No, they're all over the country. Some of them are very common to us, ranging from pawpaw leaf to bitter leaf to mango leaf to guava leaf. They're all around us. In our ancient cultures, we consume a lot of these fruits and vegetables abundantly. Wow. Today, we are not doing so because we have cut down all the trees to build our concrete jungles. That's the first perspective. Number two, we're people of great ancestral kingdoms. When the British came to Nigeria, especially into the Edo Kingdom, what they wrote would have stunned anybody who reads books today of what they write. They were shocked at the level of advancement, from the neat roads to the organization of the society to the absence of ailment. Go and look at what Guardian wrote, dating back to, just go online, research Guardian and the Benin Kingdom. You'll be amazed what they wrote. The early missionaries were very honest in their reporting. All we're getting today is this, half-baked journalism that doesn't do the proper research.
So I don't think it's a lack of doing proper research. I think they're pushing an agenda. So they're pushing they're pushing the news.
That we are worthless people.
Yes.
God didn't give us anything that is worth, that we must depend on the whites to survive. Excuse me, our journey with the whites, it's recent. It's recent. What were we doing before then? Dying like, no. We were massive empires that expanded from...
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Africa's home of creators, Cloud Africa, presents to you from the streets of Nigeria to the whole wide world. It's the Cloud Talk Concert Trench Talk Festival. Featuring the incredible DJ YK Mule. It's music to the world by storm. It's Cash Coming. Also featuring Ladies Man, Sade. And the king of the streets, Batman Nico. Cloud Talk Concert, Trench Talk Festival is taking place on the 17th of December 2024 at the Balmoral Convention Center, VI. Time 5 p.m. Get your free tickets now at cloudstalkconcerts.com. This event is proudly brought to you by Action Bitters. Cloud Talk Concert. Talk just get lit.
Drink responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
This is it. The ultimate stage for young minds to battle it out.
The governors are above the law. They tend not to lean on to public participation.
Governors can make any decision without fear of...
What remains of a person's identity if it's only measured by external...
The urgency to safeguard life should outweigh preserving cultural sites.
Auditions for the I Beg to Differ Secondary Schools Debate Tournament is on. Do you have the passion, the intellect, the fire that stand above the rest? Then prove it.
The hallmark of any thriving society is an institute.
Study organization should be planned carefully into the data.
Standardized tests is a recipe for anxiety.
To prove you're the next great debater Nigeria has been waiting for. I Beg to Differ. Auditions open December 12, 2024 and close January 12, 2025. The clock is ticking. Visit www.nigeriainfo.fm now to register. I Beg to Differ. The Tournament of Champions.
Dear industry, what's up? We really need to sit and just talk. You've been good to me from day one, so please hear me out, I promise it's so love. Okay, first clients, you need to get back to the basics. A plan and a strategy, you know you can't fake it. And I just part of the story you wanna tell. That influencer you hide, is he really doing well? Influencer, you get the number, do, but no human connection, do. Your followers don't reach 100K, but because of giveaway, it don't pay. And brands, what's your plan? No be only Gen Z, this thing concern. The trends and the dance challenges, they need to stop. Think like a consumer and connect the dots. Oh yeah, get to work. Demographics are cool, but they're only a piece in the pie we're here to cut. And if you don't come correct, your audience will be getting lost. Yes, of course. So what's the missing link? What's the past now? Creativity and strategy is a must now. Hit us up, we'll make your brand shine. We'll be your marketing pulse, your creative lifeline.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Lagos, it's time to turn up. I'm not talking about this average, normal turning up we do in December. I'm talking the kind of turn up that sets you up for the new year. The one we are doing right now is helping you wind down the year. The one I'm talking about right now is going to take you into the new year, to help you open up the new year. I'm talking about Drinks Fest Lagos. Yes, here to set your new year vibes on fire, to set your new year alight, to take your 2025, in the right way. I'm talking about 2 incredible days, January the 3rd and the 4th, 2025, at the Landmark Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. The Drinks Showcase is happening live. A celebration of exquisite drinks, Lagos culture, beautiful people, and good vibes, all waiting for you, the concert goer, you, the observer, you, the great spectator. Get ready for a Drinks Showcase like no other. Live entertainment will happening, and of course, music, festive vibes. Plus, you get to meet the masters behind your favorite sips. Yes, you cannot beat that. And of course, do not miss out on Lagos's hottest events to kick off 2025. That's official. Grab your crew and get your tickets at tix.africa. Yes, tix.africa. Drinks Fest is organized by Drinks Fest and Without a Box. Go and get your tickets now at tix.africa. Follow at Drinks Fest Lagos. That is Drinks Fest LAG on Instagram and X. And of course, Drinks Fest Lagos on TikTok and Facebook for all exciting updates. Make sure that you are there because I'm going to be there.
Oh, I can hear me. 99.3 Nigeria Info. 2:30 on the clock. It means I have to squeeze everything in. Now, Doc, you were on the malaria thought before the break. And by the way, his name's Dr. Patrick Ejere, and he was referring to an article by The Guardian a few minutes ago before the commercial break. Benin City, the mighty medieval capital, now lost without a trace. And The Guardian put it this way: with its mathematical layout and earthwork longer than the Great Wall of China, Benin City was one of the best planned cities in the world when London was a place of thievery and murder. Good old tale of plunder and rape. When London was nothing to be desired, Benin Kingdom was a civilization. But yes, so if you look at Nigeria today, look at the Benin Kingdom, and you look at the world and the way the news is reported, well, you don't even have to be a genius to tell that there's something against you in all the works. So, sir, before the commercial break, you were on malaria. I'll allow you to continue your thought.
Just the other second or third perspective on malaria, just personal experience.
Yeah.
As a little boy who would go to the village, anytime you were ill, fever, headache, malaria, or whatever it was, somehow grandma or great-grandma knew exactly what herb to put in the pot and boil it and cover your head. You would inhale for maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, take a cup, scoop, you drink it, you go and sleep, the next day you're back running around. That was one of the most efficient therapies, whatever was causing. That means those folks had knowledge. Those folks knew how to use the herbs medicinally beyond the nutritional value of the herbs. Again, I say, malaria was not an African ancestral problem. It's a modern problem that began with David Livingstone and Mungo Park and so-called people from the West who came in without the defenses. Now, let's look at it from a microbiological perspective. We're exposed to all kinds of microbes and parasites. The body builds immune systems. We have clients today who tell me, Doc, 10 years, 20 years, I don't get malaria. 10 years, 20 years, I don't have malaria. There's a report on French TV, which I'll send you the link, where they compared conventional therapies to herbal therapies. And one of the studies reported in that report was confounding. They found that the conventional therapies always leave some residual parasitemia. Always leave some residual parasitemia. That means the malaria parasite in the blood. Whereas the herbal therapies, 97 to 100% of the time, clears out the parasite completely. And in one of those within that report, there was a French journalist who trekked from South Africa to East Africa. He said after the treatment with the local herbs, he never had malaria again. Guys, you're sitting in a gold mine. You got enough eating. And then somebody's bringing you a vaccine from somewhere that you don't know what are the ingredients.
In fact, research says it's 75% effective, and health experts recommend using it alongside malaria prevention tools like mosquito nets and insecticides.
Mosquito nets. So I now sleep in a tent of poison.
Yeah, because it's chemically treated.
It's chemically treated.
Oh.
Several times I had to intervene at my children's secondary school. Children who had allergy and rashes. And right away I knew it was that brand new net that you guys purchased. Go and wash the about to call it the damn thing. Go and wash it, rinse it out, and then bring it back. Yes, rinse off a lot of the insecticide on there. Why would I put my child under a canopy of chemicals that are neurotoxic, hepatotoxic, and nephrotoxic? Why would I have a child sleep under that? And you call that a measure to prevent malaria? We're under hypnosis in this country. We're under major hypnosis for anything that comes from the West. We buy into it. Whereas if you give that child bitter leaf soup enough times,
and the malaria will go away. No, because you see, it's funny in one hand, but if the long-term effects of it is really what is underreported. In fact, I even think in Nigeria it's a lot worse because we don't even do research as to keep up with documentations. Because research and documentations would have been able to tell us something in some sense, but here we're actually largely dependent on what they say, what their research is, when they do it, and then the funny thing is upon whom they do it. So we're looking at people with a different phenotypical disposition, and then we using like the American Public Survey and almost try to impose that on the Nigerian situation, which I think our advantage would be where we're located, what we eat, and how we live. All of that, those factors should come into the evaluation of any pathogen whatsoever.
Thank you. I was really saddened recently when I read an article that our health minister has recommended the funding of C-sections as a way to reduce maternal mortality during childbirth. Western medicine as we know it is 100 years in Nigeria? Before then, weren't we giving birth naturally? How were we doing it? Suddenly, we don't know how to give birth again.
Sir, some people will say that we were giving birth naturally, but maybe there were no, I hate to call it a pre-literate period, but that there were no documentations as to keep the figures of women who could have died at childbirth.
You know, when they say there's no documentation, I just smile. Go and look at a lot of incursions when the Europeans came into Africa. From Northern Africa to Timbuktu to the Benin Kingdom. One of the first things they would always do is destroy your repository of knowledge. The library, the Great Library of Alexandria, the University of Timbuktu. They will flatten it.
They burn the books. Well, they did it to themselves, I hear, in the history books, that, they also destroyed libraries in Europe.
That's where people put knowledge. And so as a result, to avoid the loss, you hand it over generationally.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Through teaching.
Okay. Oh, dear. All right. So now I'm wondering why it has matrix, but then again, I guess science and medicine are beginning to merge as one entity. Now the malaria drug is R21/matrix M.
If I recall the research behind this one, this is the one that came through Burkina Faso.
Okay.
And if I recall all the details, Burkina Faso has a biannual malaria season, where there's about 4 to 6 months where there's malaria endemicity. After that, it's absent. And so the study that was done was now extrapolated from the 6-month period to the 12-month period. When 12 months there's no malaria. How is that a study? There's no, what is your placebo in that study? There's no malaria for the next 6 months. So you did only 6 months. You've extrapolated. Now you say it's 75% efficacious. No. It is 37% efficacious. And that doesn't cut the WHO guideline for vaccination. So there's fabrication of data. There were 2 vaccines that were studied, and neither, honestly, has effectiveness that is accurate when you look at the true data from the research. In fact, I have a colleague. I'll connect you with him.
I would want to meet
he
him.
was heavily into this research, and he destroys the entire research. I'll connect you with him.
So, then we even have to now look at the politics that happens in the world of medicine. If you're saying that Burkina Faso was the survey group used to evaluate the second vaccination that's now approved, and you tell the story how they only get malaria for 6 months, and somehow they...
And malaria free for another 6 months.
And they're free for 6 months, but somehow the science world decided, well, we need to push out these vaccines for whatever reasons, whether it's for money or something else. Then they lie, because there's no other name for this. So they lie, they inflate it, then they misrepresent the facts. And this is not the first time the facts have been misrepresented. The just concluded COVID era, we heard too many misrepresentation of facts. And it seems as though beyond just appearing to be goodwill ambassadors trying to save the world, it appears as though there's something else that we can't quite see. And now we're not even talking about the fact that you are saying here today that there are over 100 herbs. Look, we walk past them, we cut them down, we burn them, that are actually made and can cure
malaria
and probably other side effects that are capable of emerging as a function of having malaria.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want to go into some of the long-term side effects because we don't have too much time now, which of course really is something that's never really spoken of in the world of immunization, vaccination, long-term side effects of vaccines. In fact, I think another way to put this would be the ingredients in these vaccines and what they bring about long-term.
All right, let's look at some of the ingredients. The recent... Well, not really recent. Let's look at the HPV vaccine, for instance.
HP, what's that?
The human papilloma
virus. Oh.
Now, by nature, if you're exposed to the real virus, the body mounts a robust immune response. But if you're exposed to an altered, a modified, an attenuated
variant of it,
variant or virus or killed virus, it doesn't trigger as much of a immune response in the body naturally. And so what the manufacturers do is to add other ingredients to trigger that immune response. Ingredients that they know are already noxious or toxic to the body to trigger the immune response. One such ingredient is aluminum. Aluminum is a known neurotoxic agent. It's been found in brains of people who have Alzheimer's disease. Aluminum is readily documented because of its irritation to the body. That's why it's put into the vaccines. And now somehow it is okay to put aluminum into a vaccine.
So they give a reason for it. I remember during COVID, I was reading about aluminum in vaccines. They say that they put it as an
adjuvant.
Exactly, that's the word.
Big fancy term.
Well, yeah.
Irritant.
Is that a better phrase?
It's an irritant. That's why it's there. Because the dead virus or the genetic code will not trigger that immune response that they want.
So here they say that aluminium is found in plants, soil, water, air. Most plants have low quantities of aluminium, but a few are known to be aluminium accumulators, including some types of tea, grass, and orchids.
Aluminum that occurs in nature is very different from the one that is put into the vaccines. The nano-aluminum put in the vaccines is highly toxic. They have different profiles in the human body. That's again why they try and blindfold us into believing it's okay, it occurs in nature, you can consume it.
In fact, I remember reading a press release of a said baby food that was withdrawn off the markets in America. We had aluminium. There was aluminium in baby food.
Yeah. The aluminum that may occur naturally in plants or in the soil is not the same as this
it's not the same.
nano-aluminum. Totally different, and the toxicity is different.
Okay. Now, why is that dangerous? Now, you say that the profile is different. So I guess one may be biodegradable, the other it's not?
If I ingest aluminum orally, let's say it happens to have come into the beetroot or something that I consumed. When it gets into my GI tract, I have tons of immune cells that are policing the entire place. Wow, heavy metal aluminum, you don't belong here. Out. Through the feces.
Yeah.
But if I inject it into your
the bloodstream,
I have bypassed that level of defense.
Okay.
And it goes straight to the cells to create its havoc. Aluminum, as ingested, is totally different impact on the body as injected aluminum.
The CDC says some people with kidney disease store a lot of aluminium in their bodies and sometimes develop bone or brain disease, which may be caused by the excess aluminium. Some studies show that people exposed to high levels of aluminium may develop Alzheimer's disease. But others study have not found this to be true. I like what they do. They do this thing where they state something, then they almost deny it in the same, like, well, there's not enough scientific facts to back it up.
They began with aluminum in people who have kidney disease. Hello, what caused the kidney disease? It's not a normal thing. What
and then I like this trick thing that they do where they tell you, then dismiss it. So they really leave you with nothing. Because they have stated it, but then they have also dispelled it in the same breath. Then so it's like, well, maybe you can't quite trust it. And it's the CDC. So if the CDC doesn't trust it, you shouldn't trust it. Okay, so aluminium, what else is in there? I'm hearing about... Okay, go ahead, please. Animal genes, because at this point, I can't wait to say that. Yeah.
This is where I say vaccination, not contamination. You have a newborn baby. Fresh human cells, robust, full of life. Out of the oven. And you introduce into it cells from pig liver, monkey brain, dog kidney. Are you mad? You out of your mind?
You're the doctor here. What is the sensibility of such introductions? Is it? I don't know. I'm curious, so that's why you're here.
They say, in order to culture the virus or to culture the bacteria, we must do it in a certain kind of agar or some kind of template. And these are the template cells in which we do the culturing of these viruses to multiply them. However, in the process of purification, the DNA and the cells of many of these animals remain into the final product. Oh, well, like the Supreme Court said, vaccines are inherently unsafe because you cannot guarantee 100% that everything's cleared out except the original causative agent. You can't beat Mother Nature.
Okay. I don't know if I'm satisfied with that. Measles vaccine is grown in a cheek embryo cell. Polio vaccines grown in a mouse cell line.
Why on earth would you introduce mouse cells into your baby? If a mouse bites, won't you kill the person who was in charge of hygiene of that home or that hotel or that? But now it's okay to introduce a mice cell. The God in his right mind, was it out of his mind when he created human cells different from mice cells? I mean, even if you mistakenly ate food that has mice contamination, you will have a severe GI reaction to flush it out immediately. But now you give it in a vaccination. That's going to cause an immune reaction because it's a foreign body coming into this pristine
That was
space.
my next question. So they're giving us reasons to accept these things, and they do a fair job of trying to document in public libraries as this or public domains as this what goes in. Well, they try to tell us what goes into some of the vaccines. For example, during COVID, I think it was, I'm not sure which of the companies now, I don't know if it's Pfizer, they refused to disclose the content of the COVID vaccine until after 75 years. And I thought that in itself was very weird. So here now, if we're looking at, the measles vaccine grown in chick embryo cells, polio vaccines grown in mouse cell line, is this cross genetics?
Absolutely.
What's this? That's it?
It is. You are crossing species lines that ought not to be crossed. Certain countries now are totally banning any kind of vaccine that is not produced locally or any kind of mRNA vaccine because they're seeing the details of this information. Does not make sense.
Okay.
I mean, one of the other major toxins. Sorry, I'm looking at the picture of Robert Kennedy on here.
Okay.
One of the major toxins is mercury. Most folks who got the COVID vaccine in the West got the single dose vaccine. Single dose vaccine doesn't require preservative. Multiple dose requires preservative. Thimerosal is a popular preservative. Thimerosal is about 50% ethyl mercury. Another known toxin, brain toxin, heart toxin, kidney. This goes on and on. So if we have true scientists, which we do, just look at the common sense of these vaccines and you would say, no, I'm not giving this to my child. Why would I on earth introduce aluminum or these toxins into my children? I won't. But when they say it's in a vaccine formulation, somehow we get hypnotized and it's okay to give it. Another day we'll discuss the quantity of the amount, because when you do the actual calculation of the quantities of aluminum or mercury in these vaccines, it even exceeds the FDA's own threshold for toxicity. That's another discussion.
Wow. Okay, good. Now, long-term effects. What have you discovered? Because you're flipping your papers. I want to know whether there's something you really want to highlight. Because, please go ahead. Have you heard the possibility that mercury in vaccines could lead to autism?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I have colleagues
I read that.
Till last weekend medical conference I attended who said there's no link. But if you look at the data, introduction of certain chemicals into vaccinations, especially the children's childhood schedule in the US, and look at the incidence of autism, you can't but say there's a heavy correlation.
Yeah, particularly when you compare it to even other countries as well.
And you look at data from those doctors who have done the research as to kids who are vaccinated and those who are not vaccinated, there's no autism in this population group. None.
Are you certain of that? So kids who are not vaccinated versus kids who are vaccinated, if we're looking for the autism display spectrum,
yes, ma'am,
we would not find in vaccinated?
Those who are not vaccinated, you will not find it.
Okay, that's a sensible assumption until they tell us what's the cause.
I'll send you a couple links. But
I want to see it.
Paul Thomas did one of the first studies that revealed this. And boy, did he get beat up by his
and for his
board.
courage, and for his courage of going against what is mainstream science.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you want to tell us something, because I want to ask, besides autism, like, what else are these things that emerge? Please, no, if you have a thought.
There are other chemicals that are used in vaccines today. There's something
Please.
called polysorbate 80.
Yeah.
As a pharmacist in pharmacy school, we taught it polysorbate 80. It's an emulsifier, which means it allows water and oil
to bind.
It's a chemical used to allow certain chemicals to cross the blood-brain barrier. Also, to improve crossing of the gut.
In simple terms, blood-brain barrier. It means that there are some things we ingest that
should not go to the brain.
Okay.
And that barrier is created. Very tight junction barrier.
It should not go to the brain, and the body has a capability of impeding the going to the brain.
Exactly.
So science creates something that breaks through that barrier into areas of the human body where these toxins or foreign bodies should not be found.
Look up.
This is looking wild.
If you're a basic scientist, even just a common sense person, or a doctor who really looks at details, and you read some of the things I have seen, you will pause and shake your head. Is this real science? This doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, we're under hypnosis.
I mean, I don't think it's Nigeria alone. I think it's the world.
It's the world. And as the world wakes up, the world is abandoning a lot of Western practices, including vaccination, or looking at options to make their own local vaccines traditionally.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Remember, we used to make vaccines in Nigeria. In Yaba. Until the early 80s. We made vaccines in Nigeria and even exported vaccines.
Oh, glory days. Glory days. Oh, yeah. So what are the ingredients? And I think this is quite revelatory in the sense that even though these are first world countries, one wonders what's the motive or what's the intent with the creation of these things. Is it to make people sicker for the industry to thrive? Because that's one for sure. I was going through a diabetic research, and with all the funding the Diabetic Association of America has gotten, America is reporting that I think they've been in existence over 60 years. Less people had diabetes in the 50s, 60s, 70s, the 80s, and even though the Diabetic Association has been in existence for so many years, they have only ended up with a report that suggests more Americans are coming down with diabetes. So the question is, if more Americans are coming down with diabetes, and this is the Diabetic Association, where at its beginning less people had the disease or the ailment, then what are they doing or not doing, which appears to inform data that's rather staggering. Actually, I would say a data that's unbelievable, because now more people are having diabetes, and the CDC projects that more people in the future will be sicker. So what exactly is happening in the market or in this sector?
So this is where we need to just pause with our medical follow system and ask ourselves, does this make sense? They are doing A, B, C, D, E, but the diabetes incidence is rising. Not only in adults, even in children. If we've defined a healthcare system as one that should either maintain your wellness, prevent ailment, or reverse the ailment, then we need to totally look at.
Then the figures suggest that something other than that is happening. What other ingredients do we consider, or should we consider?
We've talked about the various animal ingredients in there. We've talked about.
Well, I just mentioned, the chick one and the monkey one. Oh, you heard about the monkey and the vaccines too? Mm-hmm. Monkey genes. I don't know where I stumble on all these crazy things.
Monkey, dog, chicken fibroblast, chicken embryo. They're all there. We go even further. Even MSG, monosodium glutamate, that excitotoxin, is one of the ingredients in many of these vaccines. Glyphosate is in there. Ethylene glycol is in there. Phenol is in there. The list goes on and on.
Lagos, hold your breath. This should happen to you slowly. Really. We're going to quickly go from the break. We'll be right back.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
2 things you can't have it all with one play. I got that defined, but you have just won yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One player, don't talk to 2 players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. I want to tell you, well done. You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
It isn't just about your safety alone. The lives of other people are in your hands. Whatever you do, be responsible. Don't drink and drive. This is an initiative of the Safe Roads Campaign, brought to you by Pernod Ricard Nigeria.
For a long time, a true legend has been living amongst us, and it's time to celebrate him. Join us and other integrated marketing communications industry leaders and titans as we honor Dr. Abiodun Olushino Shubanjo, a visionary, pathfinder and pioneer who has redefined the Nigerian advertising ecosystem for many years. It will be an evening of tributes and crowning of excellence. Date is Tuesday, 17th of December, 2024. Venue is Ajap Recital Hall, Muson Center, Unikon, Lagos. Time 4 p.m. Be a part of history. Reserve your seat today and witness a legacy that continues to inspire. For inquiries and confirmations, please contact Jumoke on 0802 1199.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.